Hey, and welcome back to another soulful. That was my attempt at some Whitney, R.I.P. Episode of The Connection. This week we're going to talk about pole-locked gas prices, buffalo wing skis, round-headed Google spies, and maybe some pierogies. Last night was a big night for Hollywood, but can we talk about how stupid it is that this show is called the Academy Awards and the Oscars? It's like friggin' pick one already. I get it. The naked gold guy's name is Oscar, but the name of the award is an Academy Award. Just pick one. It's confusing for the rest of us. All right, so let's gossip about the big winners around the water cooler, shall we? Wait, what's that? Oh, right. Well, the awards didn't air yet because it's Friday. And since I have no idea what kind of antics are going to take place or did take place yesterday, I'm just going to talk shit about some past Oscar moments. Like that time that Angelina Jolie totally kissed her brother and borrowed an old dress from Elvira. Or what about that time that Bjork showed up wearing a dead swan, which I'm pretty sure is illegal and she probably should have been prosecuted for. What else? Oh yeah, Celine Dion, right? Is she still alive? I don't even know. But yeah, she showed up wearing a suit jacket, like backwards, and that was really stupid. You know, I can't stand the fact that these people honestly make decisions like this. Just because you're in showbiz doesn't mean you get to be weird. Okay? True fact. All right, here's last week's tech news in 20 seconds or less. Probably less. Barnes & Noble unveiled a $200 Nook tablet to compete with Amazon's Kindle Fire. So be on the lookout for that. Also, Google in the news. Yeah. Ugh. Google bypassed privacy protections again to track users in order to hoard personal data for their profit. Classic Google. What else? Oh, Angry Birds, right, is headed to outer space in the game's next installment, set to launch on March 22nd. Cannot wait. Actually, I don't know. I don't play Angry Birds, but I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are pretty excited about that. All right, on to sports. Big week in sports. ESPN's cross-platform editorial procedures were under scrutiny over some off-color racial remarks, which led to the firing and suspension of 2 journalists. Let's examine this situation. Okay, this headline was posted at 2:30 a.m., so clearly the man was wasted, okay? Second, the anchor that was suspended is married to an Asian lady, okay? 3, the expression chink in the armor is so old, like mid-1600s old. So tell me why a 28-year-old is using it. What is that? Why are you using that phrase? And he clearly knew what the expression meant. I mean, at his age, there is no way he doesn't know that calling an Asian guy as a chink is completely wrong. It's wrong. You're 28 years old. You should know that. And for those of you that aren't familiar with the definition of a chink in the armor, it basically refers to a very small but very critical weakness, like a small crack. Here, I'll use it for you guys in a sentence, just so you guys can, understand a little better. God, we'd be such a successful web show if it wasn't for Kristen. God, she's terrible. She's a real chink in the armor. Anyway, so if you're interested in learning about other inappropriate racial slurs, like the ones I used in the beginning of the show, there's an app for that. Not really, I just made that up, but there is a website, all right? You could check it out. It's rsdb.org. That's racialslurdatabase.org. It is a real website. Check it out. Okay, moving on. So, if you're part of the 99%, then your wallet has to be feeling these ridiculous gas prices. And if you don't quite understand why, when you drove past the gas station this morning, it said $3.55 a gallon, and when you passed it an hour later, it said $3.75 a gallon. Here's the skinny. All right, so Iran has mastered the full nuclear fuel cycle. Europe wasn't too happy, and they spoke up about it. But because they did this, Iran was all like, oh yeah, is that what you think? Really, Europe? Well, fine. We're just going to suspend exports to France because we hate baguettes and French fries. And the UK, because we think it's weird that England, Wales, Northern Ireland, and Scotland got together and said, hey, yo, you know what would be cool? Let's just become a sovereign state. So then the Euro area finance ministers thought it would be an awesome idea to go ahead and approve a second bailout of $173 billion to Greece, which is why we can barely afford to drive across town. All right. You think that Athena and Plutus would have had like a chit-chat about this like however many centuries ago. I'm disgusted. Greek mythology. Moving on to what's really wrong with this world. Besides all of that, in Buffalo, New York, teachers get free plastic surgery, like no limits, Botox, lipo, boob jobs. They're billed nothing and they have no deductible. Why, you're asking? Because the teachers have been in contract negotiations with the city for, I don't know, the better half of a decade because they feel that they're underpaid, which they probably are. Last year, the school district spent $5.9 million on these plastic surgeries, and this year, the president of the school board is projecting a $42 million deficit. Okay, I'm no mathematician, but why not take that 5.9 mil and give these teachers some extra paper, you know, like a little more cheddar in their paychecks, which is what they really want. Duh. Listen up, Buffalo. You may have created the delectable deep-fried dinner choice of the masses, but when it comes to finance, you get a big, fat failure. 2 thumbs down from this girl. All right, this is great. After 5 whole years and $500,000 of Lackawanna County taxpayer money, Paul Sorvino's soon-to-be rated shitty film, The Trouble with Callie, debuted last week at the Sedona Film Festival. And from what I've heard, it's basically a glorified B-movie. So, way to go, Paul. Yeah, making us look good. Former Lackawanna County Commissioner and convicted felon Robert Cordero, who just started serving an 11-year prison sentence for corruption, will be listed as a producer. What a self-absorbed dick. All right? And the only thing that I like about Sorvino is the fact that his last name ends in one of my favorite beverages. It's me winking. Now it's time for What Would Kristen Do? Remember, these are everyday scenarios, real, fake, or personal. And I would just, I'm going to explain to you how I would react if I was in one of these situations. Drive by a school, kids breaking rules. What would Kristen do? Okay, here's the scenario. You're driving past a school around 3 o'clock. The kids are just getting out, acting stupid as usual. They never look when they're crossing the street, or they're using the street as a sidewalk, which is so annoying, so ridiculous. So you're driving past, you see a fight break out. Pretty cool, huh? Would you slow down to casually check it out? Pull over to watch? Maybe you get nervous and you don't want any part of it, so you drive by quickly and don't even acknowledge it. Drive by like this, which is probably dangerous, but... Or do you pull over and be responsible and break it up? I would definitely slow down to check it out. And if it looked like it was going to get interesting, I'd pull over. That's just what I would do. Have some scenario suggestions for me? Hit me up on Facebook or tweet me @_Kristen Brooks and let me know if you have some funny scenarios that we could talk about. Alrighty. So last week, I asked and you answered last week's poll question, would you rather have a ketchup dispensing navel or a pencil sharpening nostril? Brrr, that's my drum roll. Brrr. All right, 46% of you said you'd rather squirt ketchup from your navel. I agree. Very convenient. And 54% said you'd prefer the convenience of being able to sharpen your pencil with your nostrils. You sick fucks. Really. God, disappointing. And now it's time for this week's poll question, which is, would you rather eat a handful of hair or lick 3 public telephones? I don't know where I come up with these. You got to let me know. Hit me up with your answer through our Twitter pages, Facebook page, or by commenting below. Now it's time for this week's reality check. All right? Let's see. Who can we? Okay, yeah. Just stop. Stop it right now. Stop being you, Carrot Top. Just stop. World can't handle it anymore. Well, that's our show. Tune in 2 Mondays from now for more of me and everything you didn't know and didn't need to know right here on The Connection. Oh, yeah, wait, what was I going to talk about? I just read that whole entire thing and I can't remember what the stories were.